Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Max.
And this is Movies Actually, where we give an honest review to the movies we've meddled with so mischievously over at Maybe Movies. And this time, we're talking about Home Alone, the 1990 John Hughes film starring John Candy, Catherine O'Hara, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, John Hurd, and of course, a young Macaulay Culkin.
You did say John Candy. Yes, obviously, as you said, it's a John Hughes film, but directed by Chris Columbus.
Oh, it was. Thank you for correcting me.
I am going to say very quickly, sorry, something just popped into my head. Sorry.
Yep.
Almost forgot. I know this is, by the time you'll get to see this, it's a couple of weeks later, but great actors are worth a couple of seconds. Just wanted to raise a mug of tea to, and I hope I'm saying this right, Kluger Lager, who I think we probably both best know as Bert from Return of the Living Dead, who passed away on Friday.
I always called him Clu Gallagher.
Okay.
In my head.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Oh, right. He passed.
On Friday on the 5th, at the age of 93.
Well, here's to a great actor.
Yes, thank you for giving us one of the best loved characters from a horror movie ever.
Oh, he was fantastic in the movie. We'll get round to that one day, but not yet.
No. But yes, sorry, that's a bit of an aside. Home Alone. Do you want to go first?
Well, I'll initially talk about what it means to me. It's one of those movies that I can talk about. It's one of the last movies that I really gave full credit to before I got into my properly snobby mid-90s I'm too cool for this shit phase. So it's one of the last movies, even Jurassic Park I didn't take seriously, even though it was a monster movie. Didn't really care. This was the last time I cared, and I really noticed what people were doing and trying to talk about Christmas. One of the great things about it is so many other Christmas movies are about what Christmas is or what Santa Claus is. This is about what Christmas means to children. And it means two things, of course. Presents, but family. This is a film about family. Even though they're absent through most of the movie, it's about his family, how he misses them, and how they try to get back to him.
And how that is the spirit or the core of Christmas.
It is. Yeah. Spending time together as human beings, as a family. Whether they're your found family of friends or your actual family of relatives.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, this one, I'd already got into that sort of irrationally curmudgeonly kind of state. And especially with anything that was popular. Because this came out, I mean, even though it was made on a reasonably low budget, I think the entire budget in the end was about 14.5 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that's actually quite a lot when you think about it.
Well, apparently, it was commissioned originally through Warner.
Uh-huh.
They said if you can make it on 10 million, okay, you got a deal. Their budget then crept up to about 13.5, and they tried to pull the plug. And in between that time, John Hughes had been chatting to one of his friends from Fox, and they said, well, if Warner pull the plug, give us a call, carry on filming. And that's how it came out as Fox instead of Warner.
You see, that's the thing I did not know. This is why Max is here, folks. He knows about this shit. He really knows about this shit.
But the entire cost came in the end was about just under 15 million. But it did spend 12 consecutive weeks at number one at the box office.
3 months? What, in England or in the...
in the States.
In the States? Whoa, 3 months.
Yeah, it came out on Thanksgiving there, came out here at about Christmas in 1990. And it was, through until, beginning of March? Or beginning of February, so it would be, because it would be November.
Oh, that's... I mean, these days, you're lucky if you get 6 weeks on a movie run. Wow.
Like a lot of these films, because it was such a low-budget film, they were expecting... they thought they might break even, and within that 12 weeks, they took something like 294 million.
And that's how you pay for movies, people. That's how you pay for movies.
But this one, I as I said, when this came out, I wasn't interested.
I
I
didn't see it at the cinema. I don't even think I saw it when it came out on video until somebody showed it to me at Christmas. And that's the thing I have to say about this movie for myself. It is purely and solely a seasonal movie. It's a Christmas movie. And I learned that the hard way watching it today.
Yeah,
in the middle of August, I had no time for the characters. I had no tingles. It didn't give me any of the nice feels. No. It was just an annoying child with an annoying family.
Yeah, you can't associate any of what you feel yourself in the winter because it's cold and things like that. But as you say, it lacks that spark, that kind of, or watching it now, yeah, you can't invest yourself in it as well as you could at the time. It doesn't give you, and it doesn't give you those nice Christmas feels, and just keep that sense of,
Well, you have to be willing to indulge in some sense of the Christmas spirit with this movie. And doing that in August is really hard. I'm sure lots of others of you out there know what I'm talking about.
Although if we want to spin it slightly, we can say, well, okay, we're not getting the Christmas feels now, but it's at least putting it in the back of your head, because then it's only pushing what's coming before it further forward, which is spooky season.
I understand your argument, but I just don't feel the same. It's not doing it for me.
Okay. I must admit, I can't tell you when I first saw this. I do know I went into it not expecting a lot, because all I'd ever really seen about it was most of the slapstick and most of the violence and all of those little bits, the clips that I'd seen, just made it look like a very silly film. And it wasn't until I actually sat down and watched it and realised there's a lot more to it. There's a lot of pathos in there, which really does pay off.
It does. I mean, as I said, it's about family, and that does include the idea of found family. Like when Mr. What's his name lives next door? Yeah, him. Exactly.
I'm sure someone will provide the name.
Macaulay spends half the movie being absolutely terrified of him, and then when he suddenly and completely discovers his backstory, it's obvious that he was always on his side. And I think that's one of the things I like about it, discovering that people, even people you don't know anything about or don't know personally at all, are kind of on your side. We all want to have a good time. We all want to experience the joy of Christmas. We don't want to feel the sadness of Christmas.
Yeah, it also it kind of makes you think of that adage about, everyone's on their own journey.
Yes. Yes.
When you scratch between the surface, you realise everybody else has layers the same as you do.
Yes. So many layers.
Yes.
Like an onion.
Sorry. But yes, as I said, I was very surprised, and literally kind of within watching one viewing, my opinion on the film went from 0 to boom, right up here. It is such a fantastic film, and then obviously when you just layer on that wonderful score by John Williams as well, and it's
so heartwarming.
Yes.
It is. It does. It fills your heart, that movie. And even the second one, to a lesser degree, does the same thing. It's, when I said I love the Carol of the Bells?
Yes.
Because that's a uniquely Christmas sound. If you know the Carol of the Bells, you know what I'm talking about. You only hear it at one time of the year. And when it does, it fills your heart.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie does. Just not in a musical sense, in a visual sense. It's about defending what's yours so that you can celebrate it later.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that a very weird thing. Not so much to do with number 2, but number 3, which I've never seen because he's not in it or anything like that.
Actually, I think I watched like 5 minutes of it. It's not good.
Which apparently had an 11-year-old Scarlett Johansson in it.
Apparently it does. Yes, I had heard this.
I was just like,
but that doesn't save it, I'm afraid.
No, of course not. Yeah, as I said, that's why I've never watched it. For a start, it's not even the same kid.
No, it's not even the same neighbourhood, not even the same family.
So, again, that's 2 John Hughes projects that we've done in a row.
Oh, it is, yes.
So we're back to Chicago again.
Oh my goodness me.
But
I hadn't thought about that.
But everything about this film just screams Christmas, which apparently Chris Columbus admits himself. He loves Christmas, so he's probably the right person to direct it.
And I can appreciate that. Personally myself, my 2 favourite holidays of the year are Halloween and Christmas. And is Halloween very closely followed by Christmas.
Yeah, I had to rediscover Christmas. I had a couple of not great things were happening around Christmas that kind of besmirched it for me. from what my memories of it as a kid, which I always used, that was always my favourite as a kid, was Christmas. And it was a good sort of, 15, maybe even 20 years before I actually almost had to kind of sit myself down and go, actually, you know, you're missing out on something here. You know, it's good for the soul. So I've had to kind
being uprooted when I was a kid. I was in a strange world, and the only things that made sense were the few American things that I could watch on television, like Star Trek and things like that. And Christmas. Christmas was a common experience that we had, and it was the one thing that carried me through. I have a hugely extended family, and they used to visit and give us all sorts of strange and wonderful gifts. And without those, my early experience of England would have been much, much worse. So I appreciate Christmas for that togetherness, even with people that I don't necessarily know that well.
Yeah, so Mum's got a huge family, but most of our Christmases were... we weren't allowed downstairs until Mum and Dad had got the lunch on the go.
Oh, it wasn't until breakfast was on the go for us.
Okay, no, they wanted to get the turkey and everything in, and then once that is, then we can go downstairs, open presents, have big Christmas lunch, and then normally in the afternoon or evening, either if we'd had one at some of Mum's family staying with us, but most of the time they weren't because they had their own family.
Oh.
But it was neighbours. Friends and neighbours would be around for the afternoon and the evening. There'd be like one lot, probably the closest, like so our immediate neighbours on Christmas Day, and then the more who lived further away on Boxing Day.
Of course.
Then we could go upstairs and play with our presents while adults did.
Oh, I see. Now, it was a bit similar like that for me. But in terms of the meals, we had Christmas breakfast, which almost universally David and I never involved ourselves in because there was too many sweets.
Yeah.
And we'd say, no thanks, I've got other things. And then we weren't allowed to have anything until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which was Christmas dinner. So it was a long march. So at 9 o'clock, you'd have a mouthful of candy and sugar and refuse breakfast because you were, oh, candy. And then it was like we weren't allowed to eat anything else until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we were like, oh, I'm starving.
Well, did you at least get your satsuma in your stocking?
Yes, we always did. Yes, Uncle Charlie always made sure there was satsuma.
And I think probably the first Christmas that I really remember waking up and remember being excited about getting presents. And in my stocking at the end of the bed was the original R2-D2 Kenner release figure.
In your stocking?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been a major present for us.
That was just like, oh. Which I think my brother's still got. My brother's, because I got R2, he got 3PO. And I think he's still got his 3PO, but somewhere along the line, that somehow, even though it's a moulded piece of plastic, there wasn't even a separate hinge or anything at the arm.
Oh, you mean the lightsaber would come out of the palm?
Well, no, this is for 3PO.
Oh, right. Okay.
And somehow he managed to lose 3PO's hand. Don't know how. So what he did was he took one of the other figures, that I think it was one of the bounty hunters or one of the rebels from Jedi. He put the piece of there's like a jacket that came with it. He put the jacket on 3PO, who'd faded by then, and then just put a little bit of red paint at the end of his hand as if he had a gun.
But I think we've gone off on a tangent, folks. So, to return back to the subject, this is a great movie if you're into the idea of togetherness and family at Christmas, or if you want your kids to learn about that, this might be a way to start. It's full of playful violence that doesn't actually cause any consequences, but you can explain that to kids after you've explained Scooby-Doo and Tom and Jerry and all of those other things. But in the meanwhile, enjoy it. Sit the kids down in front of the TV, go put a bunch of ginger men in the oven, and have some Baileys and coffee, eh?
Absolutely. This is possibly the de facto feel-good Christmas film for any audience. It doesn't matter. Again, the film is, 30 years old now?
31 or 32.
32, yeah, so it was 1990, yeah, so 32 years old. Doesn't matter. I mean, obviously you don't think about how It's a Wonderful Life, that's a film that's not aged.
No, that's ageless.
Yeah. So definitely do check it out. Obviously not just yet because Halloween's still coming up, but yeah, when you get to after Thanksgiving or over here, when end of November, stick this on, just really get them in the spirit and remind them that there is more to Christmas than charging around a supermarket beating up strangers. That's indeed. On the next one.
That is indeed on the next one. That is indeed. But in the meantime, folks, I hope you go out and check out the movie, and I hope you enjoy yourselves. And whatever you decide to get up to, let us know about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And of course, yes, if you do enjoy what we do here, as always, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Let's go and write our Santa's Christmas notes and then throw them out the window.
Do you dare?
Thank you for stopping by and spending a bit of time with us, and we'll see you again.
As always, guys, TTFN.